Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our next live. Okay, hold on. Hi viewers, welcome to our second live. Now, today we're going to discuss the issues of paternity at birth. And oh my gosh, let me first apologize for my background. The irony of the situation. My son is giving me some trouble. Oh gosh. His daddy, real daddy at that, just take him, by the way. All right. So the topic is paternity at birth, right? An MP has stated that he's going to table in Parliament the need for passing a policy where women will have to undergo, a pregnant woman or mother will have to witness her newborn being taken, well, I'm stuttering now, her newborn undergoing a DNA test to determine the paternity of her child. So today we want to discuss the implications of that. What are the implications for the mother? What are the implications for the father? And more importantly, what is the implication for the child? All right, today I have with me Shanette, right, bottom left corner. Shanette will share her views, and today we also have Sasha Gay. And joining us soon will be a gentleman who will be sharing his views from the male side. So let's get right into it. Let's start with you, Shanette. Just a general overview. Looking at the topic, paternity at birth. What is your take, and what have you been hearing out there in this space?
I mean, I've been hearing, I don't know, it varies. I hear people saying that they're for it, there's people saying that they're against it because it will
Shanette is
show that,
talking
oh, there's
because
a
I'm
lack
not
of
hearing. All right,
personal
let's just move
consent.
over to you, Sasha Gay.
Yeah, she was speaking though. I was
Why
hearing
is
her.
Anna not hearing me? You're hearing me, Sasha?
Yes, I
Oh,
am
okay.
hearing
It
you.
was on my end. Sorry about
I
that.
don't
Go
know
ahead,
what's going on
Shanice.
for Anna then. I'm saying there's varying views on it. As it relates to my views, I feel like there's a lot more important things to focus on right now. But if it should be a thing, I don't think it should be mandatory. It should be an option for, because you have couples out there who are sure, hey, this is my child, da 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 da. They wouldn't want that. Then you have those relationships out there where aren't really relationships and don't have a bag of kids and they wouldn't mind the test at birth. So I don't know. It's basically my view in terms of I don't have a solid view on it to be honest, but I have opinions.
Okay, I hear you, Shanette.
And it's echoing again.
Okay, opening remarks from you, Sasha Gay. We're off to a rocky start. Please bear with us. Over to you, Sasha Gay.
Yeah, so I am neither for or against it, but I think that it's very important for, a child to know who their father is. And it's also very important for the father to know that that child, his is his. So, and I'm hearing in the atmosphere, in the social atmosphere that, the MP is gearing towards using paternity testing to reduce domestic violence. But I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm definitely against that. But I am for, fathers knowing if the child is his at birth. So it's kind of contradicting. Everybody's gone?
No, we're here. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, our viewers left, but we're really, this is a shaky start, and this is the challenges of our life. Like we just have to keep going, mistakes and all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's no way to cut this thing and start over. I don't know.
No,
Let's
they're
go.
coming back. They're coming back, and I think it's because the late start, people just came on.
Oh, you just lost them for that.
Yeah. So it's a matter of, we're on it now. They're coming on.
Mm.
I see some people coming on.
And my background is not helping. Hold on.
And we are the small.
Okay, this must go down in history as the worst live ever. Hey, my child is giving me a warm time right now.
Probably sleepy.
Saturday, carry the conversation for me.
Okay. All right. So let me see what's going on. So yeah. So as I'm saying, it's what I said earlier was contradicting. Yes, I am for uh fathers knowing that they are that child's rightful father, and I'm also against the move that it is a way to gear or to alleviate domestic violence. So I'm against that, but I'm for paternity testing because it is very unfortunate, though, for the child, as you said earlier. That's an implication of the child that we will discuss later. But for now, I am thinking that let the best father win at this point, because it is a point where, as a mother, as a female, and myself, I want my child to have the best father. So if I
Yeah.
have three partners, obviously I'm going to choose the most stable and suitable to be the father. That's
Even
just,
if they're not.
pardon?
Even if they're not.
Well,
Biologically.
biologically, yes. So
Okay, okay, okay.
so no, that's the thing now, because we have to choose, you know, who is the best person to raise my child. And most of these issues arise from poverty.
Right.
Single mothers, who are afraid, or mothers who are afraid to be single mothers, or mothers
Mhm.
who were single mothers before,
Mhm.
so they kind of know that, okay, I got pregnant by John, but I have to give it to David because David is
Mhm.
working for one, right? David is respectful. David is responsible. So why not
So,
give it
so
to
no,
David?
but if that was the case, why were you with the irresponsible, unemployed
That's
one in
the
the first place?
point. That's the point, and that's the question that I cannot answer for these women. It is
Yeah,
irresponsible, and I feel like females have been getting away with this for a very long time.
yeah.
Because they do it, and females are like, oh, if you never sleep with her, your name wouldn't call. First of all,
Wouldn't
why is
call.
she
Yeah.
sleeping with so many men in her fertility window during that time
Mhm.
of her being fertile? No, she puts
Right.
herself at risk. She puts herself at that risk, to be hurt by men,
Mhm.
and to be hurt by multiple men at that. And that's why so many of them have, different baby daddies. It's actually a mess. And I
Um.
think it's the females to be blamed. You have to choose a partner who he is responsible
Right.
from the get go.
Yeah. Or if you want to, or if it's
I
just a
hear
matter of.
you. Continuous, Sinead.
No, I was like, or if it's a matter of just pleasure, then at least wear protection because I mean, contraceptives really aren't that expensive. So that should also be taken into consideration if you're going to be having sex with multiple people and you don't necessarily want like get pregnant by them. Protect yourself, even if these men aren't going to be protecting themselves, even though there's other things that can happen during intercourse that aren't pregnancy, but that's just like a minor detail that
Yeah.
can be prevention better than cure is basically what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, well, that is true. But the thing is, these females are not doing that. And you know that it is by law that it is illegal. Paternity fraud is illegal. And I think that if Jamaica, the legal system of Jamaica pushes that, a lot of these females would be giving their child to the rightful
Mm-hmm.
father. It is
Yeah.
illegal.
Paternity fraud,
It
Sash.
is illegal.
Explain,
Yes, it is. It is.
explain paternity fraud. Go a little deeper.
Alright.
What is that?
So paternity fraud is when you have a child and you basically give it to a man who
You knowingly,
who
you
you
knowingly.
who
Yeah.
you know
Because
is
sometimes
not
some
the
women
child's
genuinely
father.
don't know who is the father, and then just take a guess and say,
Yeah.
oh,
So
well,
Yeah,
based
but
on the
in
it's
math,
a law now. So what is
it
the law?
so it is under the Registration Act, I think, of births and
mm-hmm.
deaths.
Really?
Yes, so
So
you
what's the
cannot
penalty?
give any wrongful information about a dead person, and you cannot
Mm-hmm.
give any wrongful information about a newborn.
So
So
what's the
Or
penalty for that?
pardon?
go on.
What's the penalty for it?
I think you have to pay $250,000 as a
Oh,
fine,
Lord. Mm-hmm.
or you go a couple months in prison based on what the judge thinks. So
Oh, this is
Okay.
so like,
Interesting.
oh,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So
so
is
and
this
then
like something like court? Like when you see them on TV,
paternity court, something like
Paternity
that.
movie
for
and all of that?
okay.
Yes, but in Jamaica they
Interesting.
don't really focus on
Law
females
and
giving
stuff.
the child to the wrongful father. They focus on lack of child support from the father, so they don't even care
Okay.
if the father, the man accused of being the father is the father. They just want child
Okay.
support, and that's the problem because he already signed the birth certificate. So you're legally the father once you sign that birth certificate.
But in all fairness, how the woman going to know? How they going to know that this person is not the father of the child?
Well,
Even if
No,
they
they
promise
practice
they
them to be
was,
they
truthful
some of
look.
that
them
there's a
even know, but you
possibility
know,
that they're not. That's the point. If
I
you
think
know
as a
there's a
female,
possibility,
yeah,
be upfront about it. Oh,
as a female though, I think you know who the father is.
yeah, chances are.
Without
But
a doubt, as a female, you know who the father is. And
Sinead, they said be upfront. Be upfront how? Be
be,
upfront
no,
how?
no, no, because listen, a lot of women in cases, not saying every, a lot of women in cases, in the scenarios that we're talking about, you're having sex with multiple partners and you get pregnant, right? You can't tell me say you don't know that there's you don't know which one is the father. But it's just I think it's the same thing she was saying that women know, but you should be upfront in that. Don't say, oh, you're for sure the father, you're for sure the father, and you're not entirely sure.
But even
Yeah.
if you know, maybe that's why they even hide it because the knowledge is going to upset the situation, and somebody needs to take care of the child. So how you deal with that?
that's
Well,
the point. We don't deal with that enough.
why? No one there nothing, because here what you make your bed, you lie in it. I can't help you
Really,
say.
pun intended.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah, but
literally.
in all fairness,
No, but
the
Anna, how many
child.
times do
What's
we
about
have
the
to feel
child?
sorry for? That most times in these situations, people don't really necessarily feel sorry for the child. They feel sorry for the mother. Cause I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
she's gonna be the only one, raising the child, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the father who has to be? And then the mothers, like those, are very demanding at that. So they know well now that's not the man's child, but they're demanding money, they're demanding this, they're
Yeah.
demanding that. And then that's why now when the man finds out that, this is not my child, he gets very angry
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all that cash is spent. He brought the child around his family, his friends. And that Jamaica culture already, where it comes on to Jackie. You know,
Yeah, but in all fairness, despite all of that, you think somebody must just call out the woman like that? And look at the timing of it. Paternity at birth, why at that exact moment?
What do you
Not
it
even a
mean?
will
week
set
later?
it will
What do
set
you
an
mean?
example for the others.
That is a lot.
You know, like that. Wait, Session.
Childbirth is not a game. You choose to bring a whole human into this world. Why the first? Why you the first? Their first intro into this world is going to be a big old lie. Why? Look here, let me.
Yeah, but you have to look at
Yes,
the
if
situation. All right.
it's no, if it's a case
Mhm.
where she's not sure who the father is and she has someone there believing that that's their child, knowing there's a possibility that they're not, yes, they should be called out at this. The hell, what do you mean?
All right, fair
It's
enough.
it's a
But look at the
responsibility.
child. Where the
It's
child would
a,
have had a father in place for at
Yeah,
least
but
18 years. In
look
this
here.
situation, you
Anna,
don't
No,
want a
it would be
listen.
father.
worse. It would be
Listen,
worse
because
on the child.
you don't know where life is going to take you. I saw a guy. Well, when I was telling you what I was seeing on the like social media and everything about people's opinions, this guy made a video on TikTok and he said, "I'm for it, the paternity test at birth, because he's not even supposed to be living in Jamaica, right? He's supposed to be in America, so forth, so on." So he's saying that when he was um, I think either ready to go to high school or leaving high school, his father that he's known all his life to be his father was filing for him and everything was done. Him father talking to him, showing him his room, showing him the school he's going to go to, da 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 da. And the last and final step was the paternity test, right? When it
Hmm.
come back, the man is not his father. That relationship was ruined, right?
Yeah, but that's how they normally find out, you know. It's
Yeah, he didn't
normally
go
that.
into
Some
full
filing for
detail.
going on,
He didn't
generally
go into full
speaking.
detail
But,
about the
you know, the
aftermath.
point was that they're saying that this is what's causing domestic violence. You believe
No,
that?
no, 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 no. That part I don't entirely agree with. I'm not going to say it's not a factor in some cases, but
Hmm.
based on a lot of the reports of domestic violence that I've seen on the news and heard about recently, a child is not even involved in the least. So I don't know what statistics he's using to say that, oh, paternity issues are a main contributor to domestic. I don't know, because I was even looking online on the crime statistics and everything.
All right. Maybe we do hear from the chat now. So
Hmm.
Dwight Green is saying that paternity testing should be mandatory. Let's
Mhm.
just face the music as early as
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
So Dwight Green, tell us more. I think he has another point here. Let me bring it up.
Okay. Let me see.
All right. So he's saying,
Okay.
how does a husband tick the box that says, do you want a paternity done on the
Yeah.
application form at the hospital? Wouldn't that be kind of disrespectful to the wife?
To the wife.
I
Yeah.
love that
No,
point.
but that
What do
would
you
be
think?
something manipulated, though, Anna. It wouldn't be so direct. It would be a part of legislation. So
Mhm.
by law, you're
Exactly.
supposed to know if you're the father for the child. So there's no ticking, there's no option. That's where it becomes mandatory.
No, but
Mandatory.
obviously
Yeah.
in Jamaica, the only thing them hold it to, is your signature. At the birth of the child, you have to sign the birth paper.
Yeah.
And nobody not asking if it's your child or not. And based on what Dwayne's saying right here, so what the
Mhm.
husband going to do, even if he has doubts, does he tick the box so that you can do the test at birth? Because
No, but
that them pushing,
What I think Stash is saying is, if it's mandatory,
What you
there
say,
will be
Sashin?
no, there will be no asking if you want it or not. It will just be done.
Oh, you mean that's how the policy going to go? If that's
Yeah.
not an
That's what I
option,
believe.
So that's
yeah,
that's, that's
I
what
see now.
I believe.
You know
Because
what I'm
and
And
saying?
that's the best way.
not
Personally.
You know what I'm
another
saying, man?
that's not a good point
Yeah.
because people must have choice. Why I tell me say I have to do this worse with my husband and wife
All right.
and
Well, since that's the case, since they have the choice and the mothers want to be very deceitful, they should implement now, reinforce at that the law, the Registration Act. So if you found out that the child is not yours, paternity fraud, you as the mother
Mhm.
will be going to jail. Simple as
Okay,
that. Simple
that's
one.
actually not a bad idea.
Simple one too, because it is people always worry about the child. Oh, the child won't have a father, but the child will feel hurt if there are three kids, for example, three children between the two people,
mm,
right? And the father goes away and he wants to, carry the three children with him. Two out of the three is his.
I
They
feel.
go. What
Mhm.
about that one that's left? He's going to hate the mother, He must say, mommy, look at
you
that. You
can
could
buckle
have
the
him.
child and yeah. But
So they
Sash, would I rather my people eat for 18 years than take some file and you find out say yeah, this one is your father and you're sad.
What,
What is the
Anna?
situation?
What kind of view is that? Look here, no.
I don't
Anna,
know.
I don't know what I'm
look there.
I don't know. Let's
I'm out
talk
here.
about it because guess
I'm
what?
out
Look
here
at it's two
fighting
against
Timothy and
one.
then
Two
man.
against one. My thing is the point is they must say the paternity thing is a reason why men are beating women, killing women, all of
Mm-mm.
that. Is
Mm-mm.
that
No,
true?
no, that I
No,
don't
that
know.
is
That I
wrong.
definitely don't agree with. Like I said, I was looking, right? Because I was trying to prepare my mind for this to not be like biased towards one side. And I don't see, look at it. A lot of the news reports that we've heard lately of women being abused or even being killed by their partner or their exes, it had nothing to do with a child. It had everything to do with men's possessiveness and feeling like women are property or not human. So I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't know what statistics he's going by for him to come up with something like this. But not to say that it's not a problem and many people don't go through it, but the reasoning behind it, that's what I'm not fully understanding. Like when get this view from in sound like it's coming from a personal place. Like you get a jacket and you
Yeah,
want to do
yeah.
something about it.
But though there was an instance in 2019 where a man actually beheaded his common law wife
Woo.
because of paternity fraud. You know,
Mhm.
he found out that there were six children and only one of the six was his.
I think I know about that one. I think I've heard about that
Yeah,
one.
and he beheaded her.
Yeah.
So
So no, no,
that
I'm not
females
saying that it's
putting themselves in that
Mm.
situation there. Even
right.
at birth, at birth it would be better. You know why, Anna? Because the man won't feel that
Yeah, won't get
connection.
attached and that
No, that's not
obligation
fair.
and all the
Because
time and
even
money spent.
yeah, but even during when the child is in the belly, the bond is still there, you know. This is your baby and you're looking forward to the baby to be
No,
born
it's easy
and then
no,
them just burst your
you
bubble
can't.
right at the hospital.
But it is still a lot better than spending 10 years, 18 years bonding with this child in person. You know, building up a relationship just to find out they're not yours. Because even though parents, you can adopt children, you can be step parents or whatever the case may be, and still have a strong bond. But it's different when midway through you find out that this is not your child biologically. It does something to the relationship, regardless of whatever anybody wants to say.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think you look a way to
It
put a
doesn't
mother
matter.
and a mother and Timothy, you just have a child, you never recover yet. And them hang you out to dry like that in the moment, you never recover. And this is
Well,
what you're facing. You're seeing your child for the first time. And this is what they bring to you.
But I mean, it's not like the results are going to come back same time, is it? Does it? Is that how it
Come
works? Are
again?
we that modern? We're that modern to where the results will come back same time, like while you're in the hospital?
That's another thing because just like how each test can be in a 15-minute thing, you just do it and you get the results. I'm not sure if they have these rapid paternity tests.
I think
but
they do,
they're
because
very
I'm pretty sure
costly
you can
as
buy them in the
well.
pharmacy or something
They're
like
very
that.
costly as well.
Okay.
It's $20,000, I think, for one.
Twenty
And
thousand
the
dollars.
average person cannot even find half of that right now to spare to check if you're the father or not.
Mhm.
So that's why when they get an opportunity, you
Mm-hmm.
know that's where they find out that the child is not there. So the average man is not they're going to take care of that child till death, unless they get a chance to go overseas to the filing or
Okay.
medical issues. So they're not going to have any time to think, is this child mine or not? Because
So
they don't
you're
have the
locked
money
in.
for
You're
one.
locked in. You're locked in at birth,
Yeah, by
whether
default.
Yeah.
it's yours
By
or not.
default. Yeah.
All right, let's take it to the chat for a second.
Shakina said
So
something.
Shakina is saying, knowing whether or not the child is his, how much does that really impact the way fathers support their children? It has been proven time and time and again in Jamaica that a number of fathers are not active.
That
Very
is
good
true.
point,
Mhm.
Shakina. So
Mhm.
knowledge or not, no for the man them now
My
Them
name.
not take care of it them. Them gone same way. All of them
True.
know.
But that's
So
where
how we give
that's
that?
where they
Why am
come.
I gonna call out the mother when she has to be the provider?
Yeah, but that's where the law comes in. You know, they get them to court, paternity court.
No, but you just make
They
her life
enforce the
harder, you
law.
know. Because
Huh?
she might know say it's not her baby, but she knows that the man that she's with will take care of that child and provide a home. Me no know it's a chicken and egg. Because do we not look out for the interest of the child?
Yeah, that's true.
I get what you're
Worse
saying,
if
you know.
it's a mistake, she make. Well, all it's on a
That's
Mm-hmm.
why I
mistake.
say,
The
Anna,
child.
this topic is very opinionated. It has a lot of vantage points. The child, the mother, the father, you know,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to really agree on one set thing. But what I will agree on is that the mother will always want the best for their child. Simple as
Right.
that.
Which is why we
Mother
have the jacket
always wants the best for their
situation.
child.
She know who the father is. Maybe she's
Mhm.
with the father, but she knows that this man will take care of her child.
Or what happens to some females is that they found out that they're pregnant, right? And then they tell the rightful father tell them straight up, say, "Yo, I don't want this,
I don't want this
She
child.
hurries up,
Yup.
so she hurry now, sleep with John Tom, and then get pregnant
John Tom.
go to the blues, and then she said, "Oh, John Tom, I'm pregnant so soon," and then John Tom so naive, be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,"
I am
but
so
she
first time
knows.
want me a father.
Yes, so maybe John Tam well wants a youth and she have pilled John Tam the whole time and then she
Yeah.
realized say no, Luke Brown does not want to have a child. Let's just give it to John Tam. And
But
John
guess what?
Tam
John Tom
broken
want
heart.
a child. The
Yeah.
government gonna burst a bubble. Eh? The man want a youth. He
The
never
man
said
wants
have to be female
biological
youth.
youth. He wants a biological youth. Unless
He
he's
want a
pregnant, he
biological
wants a
youth.
biological, yes, the biological.
No, but you don't think it's unfair. It's on the woman's side alone. What is in it for her? Them not tying the paternity at birth to paying for the child support. None of that. That's not in the equation.
Mm-hmm.
That fair?
That is
Well,
true. But
what? If you're asking what is in it for the woman, based on what the MP said, it is going to lessen her chances of, in the long run, being abused or something. I don't know, because even if it turns out that the man is not the father, there's no guarantee that he's still not gonna abuse her when he find out say man on the father, right then and there, or when they get home. So, I'm not even sure how he plans to implement this or what
Exactly.
else
That's
is
my
going to be a
point.
part of
It's
it.
like you basically, yeah, beg. So me just have a baby, and it's not the man baby, and right there in the hospital, him find out say it's
Mhm.
not his child. And me are
Mhm.
going to go get beaten. So man are gonna run away because it's not his child.
Yeah.
And the mother herself, she didn't have no mother neither, based on the situation.
Yeah. Good point.
well, yeah, well, I never thought about it that way. That's why I said there are a lot of vantage
Yeah.
points. A lot of vantage
Yeah,
points.
that's why we're having this discussion.
But that is a good point, Anna, for you, because the father might. But what I'm saying also, the level or the betrayal at that point at birth won't be as much as when he finds out that the child is not his 15 years after that.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
my
think
mother ask you something. Why we make it so much about the men? These absentees fathers anyway. They're not there anyway. So what we're going like say Jamaica have this bagger man will take care of them children and it's so unjust. They will take care of your jacket.
I
Chances
mean,
are the average
across the
woman,
world,
she's
that is
by
a common
herself with
assault,
her
you know.
jacket. Yeah, cause the man gone. How when is their child, them gone. So why we need a law to protect a man that is not there? And then you abuse a woman who is present and
Mhm.
has to raise her child on her own.
well, that's how you hold them
Remember, remember,
accountable.
you know,
Accountability.
remember, you know, I read the article and
Accountability
it
for
said,
who? No,
no, but
shouldn't you be
listen,
looking out more for the woman?
no,
Given
listen,
given
no,
the stats, given the
No,
statistic.
no, I
What
know.
get it
No,
back.
that's what I'm saying. I am saying,
mm,
that when the father, a paternity, that Luke Brown is the
Get
father.
it back.
That's where you hold Luke Brown accountable by law. to take care of
That's,
that
yeah.
child.
I was just about to say. Remember, he
So
didn't go into much
Jamaica
detail
now, what
about what
Jamaica
it's going
needs
to
to do,
entail.
yeah, is to
So you don't
reinforce
know
the
if
law.
there's going to be, all right, you are the father now. You have X, Y, Z, da 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 da. You have to do by law. You know.
All right, fair
But
enough.
remember, it wasn't
So,
fleshed out. It was just that statement he made based on the article. There were no real details. So maybe the final, the fine print, fleshed out yet.
exactly, and they're not, but right now, there's nothing about the law or the proposal. Let's call it proposal. And let's hope it
Mhm.
stays so. Because
Mhm.
honestly, right now, the woman has no protection. So you are a
Mhm.
newborn mother, your body physically stressed out, you're mentally
Mhm.
stressed out, maybe postpartum
Mhm.
and all of them something there, and you're now
Mhm.
told that this man is not the father. And then
Mhm.
this man either will beat you, kill you for the news, or disappear. So what
Shakina
is
said
in for the
something in the
woman?
chat.
Hmm? Look
Shakina
what you
was
was
saying
saying,
some,
all right?
yeah. She said
Read Sash.
women go through physical and emotional stress and changes. Going to court only really ends up with a female getting a little of what he is legally getting paid. So what if he has nothing? All right. He has to find it. That's just that's
No,
just
no.
that's just
But you
Yeah.
see, you can say the child suffer. Also,
yeah,
everybody, the child suffer. The
because he's
woman
going to
already
say, "Me not
identify
have it.
how can afford it. And
Me not have it."
backward opportunity out of the child mouth. Because you go open can of worms.
You open the
Well, but
Pandora's
that's
box.
where you find a man now
Ah,
who is,
Pandora's box, yes.
and then you find a man who is willing and who is stable to be a stepfather. That's the right way.
No, no. Because the woman, remember now you made the point earlier. The woman is going to look out for the best interest of her child. So me no say Tom Brown are the father, but Tom Brown is not a father. You know? So in
Mhm.
a
Not father
situation like
material.
that, yeah, I create a stable situation for my child. And the government is saying, look here, game of cards or roll dice at the hospital. And then before you know it, my child end up with a different type of future. See that? I'm half of them not gonna get fired for find out the truth. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's what I was saying. That's why a lot of these men are not even the rightful fathers, but because they don't have the money and they're not going away, you know,
You will never know.
yeah, they just don't know. And they have that child and they love that child and that child loves him.
Wrong with
So it's
that.
just
Mhm.
easy breezy every day.
Who told us that blood thicker than water? What is that? What wrong with that? A child grow up knowing such. It's just like having a stepfather. No one loving father
Yeah.
that. Have to be
Yeah.
biological. What is the
No.
whole strain on biological?
Okay.
Mm.
When man scarce, I know one mind them pitney.
No, because the difference between the situation is different. You know, as having a stepfather, you know that at that point, you know that's not your father,
So
right?
what? So
But when
what?
you're at birth or when you're growing up, you're calling this man daddy because you think he's your father by
It's the
birth.
same thing. It's the same thing I'm saying, and also where the news of the knowledge of the deceased or the lie or whatever the case may be, it changes the relationship if it wasn't information
It
in you from the
changes.
start. You know,
All
it
right.
does change it.
Perception is a
You can't avoid
perception.
that.
Is a perception, you know, because for example, I have I have a stepfather. I know that, you know, he's not my biological father. I know that. So it's kind of different, you know, it's kind of different than for me being 24 years old and then I have to go abroad and then I found out that he's not my father. That would literally tear me up because all these
Yeah.
years
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, yes, this man is my father. And then for a chance for me to go abroad, I'm excited for one. I'm expecting to travel. I'm anticipating it, and then to find out that I'm not going again for one, and two, he's not my father. And the mother knows that all along. So that's kind of deceit. You know, deceit is very strong for the father and for the child. So the mother is lying to the father and lying to the child.
Yeah.
But Anna
All
is
right,
just stuck
fair
on the
enough.
mother and the
Fair enough, but isn't that the responsibility of the mother to tell her
yes,
child what is going on?
yes, it is. So give the child a heads up. Say if anything happen, Luke is not your father,
Mentally
right?
prepared.
Yeah, just tell the
Because
truth.
Just tell the
if we're
truth.
if
And
we're
then at
going
that
back,
point, you give
yeah.
the child a chance to meet his father,
But I'm
his
really
rightful
thinking
father.
about it. If we're going back to the beginning, the roots of what this man is saying, the MP, I don't remember his name. If it's to alleviate or I don't know, reduce the possibility of domestic violence, I don't see where it necessarily would, unless it's a case where it was just like a one night stand and you and this person don't really have a relationship, so they don't care if the child is there or not, theirs or not. So if they find out they're not the father, they will just go on about their business. But if it's a case where you and this person in a relationship and they would expect the child to be theirs, it could still be a gateway to domestic violence just probably earlier on in the relationship versus 10 years down the line.
Yeah, but is it the main reason? It is so bad. Is it that bad where you need a law? You need this law to be
Um,
passed? Because I don't
I
see if it's
think,
to protect women, I don't see how it's doing
yeah,
that. How is it protecting women?
It is
yeah.
not. I think it is
I
more
see,
endangering them.
Yes.
I would see the, I won't say need, but I can see where it could be a law because it is an issue regardless. But if it's geared towards protecting women, I don't see how. I don't really see how. So
Exactly.
if it's going to be a law, it should be labeled for a different reason or something. But as for protecting
Yeah, to
women, I
sell
don't
it
really
that
see how.
you're reducing violence
Yeah.
against women
I
is
don't really see.
so
Maybe it's, I'm not
contradictory.
saying it's not there, but I'm not seeing it right now, so I can't really attest to that.
I think his approach should have been, not really directing it to domestic violence because this will only add to it. This only give
It
reason
could
for it.
exactly. It possibly
But
could.
what he should have said was, implementing mandatory, paternity test at birth
Hmm.
would decrease paternity fraud for the island.
Right.
That's it.
And
That would have
How,
been a
that's
better way
how,
to
also
word it.
how,
our human
That
being.
would actually be a
Them
much better
still
way
go
to word
cheat.
it.
and then nobody would even think really or focus on domestic violence. I don't think people would
Yeah.
have a side thought about it because they're like,
Yeah,
oh
you're
yeah,
not
good
wrong.
idea, because
You're
paternity
not
fraud.
wrong. Yeah.
So nobody is just the perception, and what
I think
people
how yeah, I
hear
think how
in
it's
the
worded or how
media.
it was
Hmm.
presented is
Yeah, it was
not the
how it
correct way.
presented
Yeah.
because people are going to be focusing on the latter, being
Mhm.
domestic violence.
Mhm.
While if he had said, doing this will reduce paternity fraud in Jamaica, and paternity fraud
Mhm.
for most Jamaicans just jacket, jacket, jacket. So the man like,
Just
yeah, man, good
yeah.
idea. But nobody will even think about maybe it will cause domestic violence. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody would focus on it like how we're doing that now.
Yeah.
I hear you. I just don't
Oh,
like the
good.
whole situation where the child just is left with the, end of the stick. It's not fair because
It's
it is
not
so
fair,
hard to
but
find a good father for your child.
But
no,
And
I
sometimes,
mean, I understand your view, Anna, but at the end of the day, if you choose to bring a child into this world knowing that it's not a stable environment or you're out here having unprotected sex with multiple people who five out of the six of them can do not for you and you pick me if you have one, then who are your fault? Anything what happens to your pick me, I feel like
no,
it's your fault.
why am
Yes.
I being punished? So one to the man where him a cheat with me, one fame woman, and him breed me. It's like the woman
And
alone that carry the evidence.
and then no, it's a case
yes,
where it's
yes,
no,
because
for
they
real. I
are
have to
so
agree with Anna
sensitive.
for
They are
one
asking
thing
them
though.
things they do.
The woman is
Female,
carrying the evidence, and she's also to be punished. She's to be burned at the stake, while the man that breed her is free and disengaged.
No, alright. You see, because there are cases where men will present themselves as, oh, I love you, anything happens, I will take care of you, da 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 da, and as a child comes into the picture, they disappear. Yes, there are cases like that,
alright. But for
most
real though, Anna,
definitely,
if
right?
I if I
But
get pregnant, oh, sorry, Kelly.
no, continue, because I
Oh,
lost my train of thought.
oh yeah, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm saying, if I got pregnant right now, and my man says, I want a paternity test done, I will feel disrespected because I'm saying, why are you accusing me of, giving you, the child and knowing that it's not yours. So that's the thing, where females will get defensive and that will by
Mm-hmm.
default look like they're cheating, but it's very disrespectful for a man.
Yeah, that
He
was a
has
part of
to
the
stand
argument
that
as well.
time.
That
A
was a
man
part
has
of
to
the
stand
argument
that time,
as well.
if it's his child or not. So, and then the thing is, no, men too don't hold themselves accountable. Because you know that we
Mm-hmm.
slept together, but yet still you're going to say the child is not yours and you're accusing me.
Yes.
And then in my mind, I have to give this child to somebody. And who the jacket fits, let him wear it. Like, let him
Yeah,
wear it.
but no, my thing
That,
is, when I hang out, women are vulnerable by nature, In every category of disaster, hazards, women are vulnerable. Women are mostly single mothers.
Yeah.
So
And they have,
no, the
and
child must
Shakina
not have
said,
the mother either because the man going to kill her. For the
yeah.
truth.
Well,
You
Shakina
understand?
said something very good at the top, though. Let me
Right.
find it. She was saying something about, females being, strong from birth. So with a father, without a father, they tend to fend for their child regardless.
mm-hmm.
But even though that's a good thing, the man still is going to be so angry at the fact that the child is not his. And I
Mm-hmm.
realize that Jamaican men are very egotistical.
Yes.
So they're
Yes,
going
they
to
are.
channel their anger because you brush them ego. You say, oh, you give me jacket, them
Yeah,
little way
man.
they like you lily them thing, what that's what they would say,
Yeah,
right?
but me not get the big deal about them. Why is it about them?
Because they're the
Why
violent
is it not
ones.
about the
They are the
child?
violent.
That,
They are
yeah,
the
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
violent
but
It's
ones.
not
Timothy,
necessarily
all right, let's touch
about
on that. Let's
them.
shift the conversation a little. But before we go into another aspect, let's just check out what Rashida is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't these mothers sure about who the father is of their child? I believe it is the root of the problem and not so much the paternity at birth. Rashida, say a little more. Tell us a little more as to why you say, yes, the woman might know who the father is, but why are you singling that out? Let's hear that. Let's hear more. All right, Shakina is saying she's living testament of that, right? Where the child will be fine because the mothers can be fathers. I can relate to that. But that is why I have a concern with you putting the woman at risk because chances are she is the provider for the child.
Yeah.
So giving the man this news,
But I
catering
can't
to
really
the
what the
needs of
children
men
really
in
do
this
like it.
situation, I don't see how that
Don't
is
look at
where
me.
the
Don't look
scale
at me.
tip.
It's flat.
I think that is true. And the fact is too is that even though it would be a good thing to implement for Jamaica to reduce paternity fraud, the type of men that we're dealing with in this country, it does not work well. It doesn't work well. These type of men, they're angry, and I believe that these men will even hurt you on on that bed.
On the hospital
On the
bed.
They
hospital
will
bed,
they will
Mm-hmm.
right?
stomp you in your face on that bed.
Thump alone.
Yep.
And that's the thing, if them a kill you now, them a kill you next week.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You violate them, you lily them up, and
Yeah.
then friend will laugh up at them like, say, yo, dog, yo, you have a jacket, and then that does trigger them now. Say, yo, you diss me.
That's why I think
Yeah.
it should be a
For real.
matter of
For
choice.
real. Like the more you think about it, is the more you say, just make them mind the jacket, yeah, man. Just make them wear it and just make it fit them, sweet, and make it just lay down on them.
Look here.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with
What is not
Adamo.
broken, don't fix it.
Don't
No,
fix it.
no, the
No,
more you think
add it.
about it, is the more, things just pop up that, the woman is at risk at
The
all. And
negative outweighs the positive. Yes,
the
so
more you
far.
think about it, as well, I wasn't thinking about it that deep. But the more I talk about it and hear, reading the comments and everything, it just shine a new light. Because men are very crazy.
No, the thing is, guys, I'm a firm
Right.
believer in men deserve less. But listen. Like I can't use Jamaican laws as an example because I don't even really know if we have laws at this point. But I was watching some program recently about they had like a group of men on there that they were interviewing who were victims of apparently in America, if a father is not present at birth, you can just put a name on the birth certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the cases was this man. He got served to go to court for failure to pay child support, right? When he read it and everything, this is a woman he has never even slept with. Never even slept with,
So
not
hold
once.
on. So can I?
Because that's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. Like in some cases, I don't know if that can happen out here in Jamaica. Because as I said, I don't know how reliable our justice system is. But I'm saying abroad in like first world countries where you really get brought to court and tried and everything. Um, this woman, when she was confronted, she said she knew he wasn't the father, but she knew him and she knew he was a nice guy. So she just put his name on the birth certificate. No, this man
Mm-hmm.
after the court, and he's not the child's father. I saw a second one now. Then the same paternity court thing. I watched an episode where the man served 5 years in jail for not paying child support. And you know when the results came back, because the child was about 14 at the time, when the
Mm-hmm.
results came back, and everybody in the court created excitement, and the judge said to the woman, "Do you know who the father is?" She said, "Yeah, I know who the father is. I still talk to him." So I'm like,
Oh no. And she
"You
watch him sit
knew."
in jail
And
like
she
that.
watched that man, and if that man shoot her right in her face as she walk out of that courtroom, I now condone murder, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I would understand. Because you knew he was not the father. You remember the man sitting in jail for 5 years? You tell me no.
So tell me, them
So
one-off case, a local case that
there's
are
a lot
foreign,
of
overseas,
there
because
are there are layers to this whole topic that I
yeah,
can agree with and I can see each point of view, but it just it's unfortunate. I just feel like
overall it's questionable
just stop bring
because
to
the
people
point is
we
violence
don't
to
want to
end
give
violence,
them. If you tell
and
a little bit about it,
I
let me
don't
know.
see how that is doing that. I don't do it.
You alright? You hungry?
As I
Hmm?
said earlier, is just the
Okay.
approach and what he
What?
wants to address. Domestic violence, paternity test, you're not the
Yeah.
father, that's going to increase cases of domestic violence. So before it was basically men just being jealous of
Mhm.
their females talking to, the girlfriends talking to men, the girlfriend coming home late, she back answering him. It's all about ego.
I think
Everything
I
is about
think
ego in domestic violence. Ego, ego, ego. And when you
I
have,
think if this man is really concerned about women's safety and domestic violence, they need to teach the police them to actually take reports seriously. And when a woman come at the station, come report, say, man, these are going to send her back home to the same house for the man there.
Yeah,
Oh, now go work it out. You have some police where the man and them friend, while the woman in at the police station and report it in the phone, say, woman in here report you. Like, there's,
yeah,
yeah,
that
man to
is
man, guy code,
That's
but
what
there's
I'm
no
saying.
girl
As it
code.
relates to
The
how
woman
you
have no
worded it, this
protection.
whole paternity testing, there's a lot more. I'm not saying that it's not maternity, paternity fraud is wrong on all. I believe it's wrong on all accords, but
Yeah, just like how lack of
for
child
how
support
this
wrong.
whole thing
Lack
is
of child
worded, what
support
he's saying,
just as
yeah,
wrong.
and you know
it's
what too? The lack of child support and the lack of, support by fathers overall
Mm-hmm.
forces females, mothers at that. I'm stop saying females, mothers at that,
mm-hmm,
to indulge in paternity fraud. They force women to do paternity fraud because if she's there and she realizes that she had two children day before, right, and
mm-hmm,
the fathers are just absent and they were
mm-hmm,
the rightful fathers, right?
mm-hmm,
She get pregnant a third time, she said, "No, what? I'm going to give it to Luke because Luke is working, Luke is responsible, Luke treat me the
mm-hmm,
best."
Yeah.
That's how
Right.
Luke gets the father, and then Luke becomes a good stepfather for the two children pair.
Yeah.
See
But
how
it's also
that work out?
encouragement for Luke. So Luke, because he's a good man,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
gets
Yes.
blindsided by fraud, which is
Yes,
Yes.
not which is
Basically.
not right.
it is not right. It
Basically.
is
It's
wrong.
not
It
right.
is not right, but it's
But the good
But
man,
okay.
no.
the good man, them are gonna suffer, because the
Yeah.
man will take your children hard to
What is
find.
your head for?
You know it's your child and you walk away.
I
So the
know,
men right here, poor stepfathers, it's always them to be there.
but it's better to be, and that scenario I gave a while ago. It's good that Luke is a stepfather because in his mind he must say, okay, those two is, are not his children. He knows that, but he loves them just like the one he was given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it is a happy family now because he's saying, no, I have two stepsons and then this is my son.
So
That
And
we
then,
have to
difference,
know Luke is
that's
well
the
versed in
thing.
being a stepfather. So if it comes out that it's
Exactly.
not his child, he should be fine.
No,
yeah.
but that's the thing. Luke is willing. If he
No,
come into a
no, Luke is
situation
willing
knowing
to
it's
be
not
a
his
stepfather.
child,
Yeah.
this is
He's
a
willing to
newborn
be a stepfather.
situation. You're standing
It's
right there.
different.
You're with it. You pay all the clinic fees, everything,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the baby born. Where
Umbilical
is your
cord and all
happy
these things.
moment?
Yeah.
But I
That
don't
is
think they would have
natural
done it so
growth. You
soon,
and the mother.
though. I don't
Hmm?
think I don't think that they would have, do that so soon. That would be
Either the baby
ridiculous.
or anything.
Because
But
imagine
then
you have,
it's
I'm
like
saying
the people have this or
paternity at birth.
yeah, but
So
they must
before
give
me
you a
tell
month.
people
No, they
big
must give you a
happy,
month. They can't have the IV in your
yeah,
hand same
month,
way.
but in that month just as bad.
The
I'm
baby
born
didn't
with my
clean up
child.
yet.
That works to the man too, Sash. 1 month later, my friend says not his child.
Actually, I already pay
The
for our
bonding
clinic and
process it starts from in the belly and worse if at the birth and the embarrassment. And then the hotel staff, them a laugh, hotel, hospital
hotel.
staff a laugh off on you.
and I have a problem, because with me, when people start laugh, it does do something to my head, like trigger me. So imagine, imagine, imagine. No, imagine the man. No, like for real now. Because if I do something and people are laughing at me, it does
Mm-hmm.
something to my head. I mean, I said, gee, and because I have control, I'll be like, cool. But a man going there now, the doctor I laugh, the baby I laugh, you know, everybody,
No, for
everybody's
real.
laughing,
It's embarrassing. I will know all Jamaica still. We know all them still.
and then you leave the hospital, the taxi man I laugh, come here, but it already from the
Now the
yeah,
WhatsApp group.
and the WhatsApp group, then you go
The
home,
taxi man
Lord
WhatsApp group.
mercy. Video take.
I'm telling you, they don't
First of
mind
all,
hearing
I
The
that.
think
husband
there's
and wife
some
wear
level of
jackets.
confidentiality in the hospital, guys.
Yeah. I think to me, there's a sacred moment of meeting your child.
Yeah, man,
And
for the first
don't
time.
ruin that. For the
Yeah.
man or the woman, take away yourself with this
Okay.
paternity business.
Someone said.
No, it's not the time for that.
All right, to
But
me though, I was actually against it, but the more we talk about it, the more we think about it. As I said, the spare new thing. First of all, if you're having unprotected sex with me, that means that you wanted to be the father. Full stop. So, therefore, when I come with that child and I say, no, it's yours, you don't ask me no question because,
mm-mm.
that means that five of you guys or three of you guys were fighting for, exclusivity with me. So, you're the best of three. You
Out of women and women, who cheat the most?
What
The man.
incarnation?
man cheat.
Oh, most
And
definitely, most definitely.
and then
Mostly men, right? So
mostly
we
men.
are
Definitely,
call out
definitely.
the woman. So we call out the woman.
Because from Bible days, they must have a set for woman like from Bible days. So I don't
Yeah, they must have stone her and then something there.
I didn't even watch that. And the thing is too, as a young professional, I must say, I think different. Because I'm more career oriented. So I'm thinking if more females were like that, and then just focus on one guy, things would be better.
Look
You
at
know that
the
you know that
world.
one guy, that one man,
Mm-hmm.
you can't send a film. But when you have John, Tom, Harry, Larry, sorry,
No man, look here. Me think
you have to choose
unfair.
the
It's
best one.
unfair for the good stuff and for the bad.
Yes.
Because everybody I do this thing.
And
Everybody has somebody. We
married
have
men
somebody. We have
have a
somebody.
yeah, and married men have a tendency of
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with, you know,
Okay, so some
Anything that
girlfriends, their
moves.
girlfriends, um,
missionaries.
getting them pregnant. I know so them can't own up the child because they're married.
Yeah.
So now, in my head, I'm saying, once he's married,
You
protection,
mind?
protection. Or don't do it at
True.
all. It's simple because he will never take that child because it will ruin his marriage and he will always put his life over you and your child, your
So
bastard.
right now, the most is that it will make women be more responsible,
Yes,
but that
exactly.
not necessarily
But
stop
all I'm
doing
saying,
it.
men should not be frightened, okay? Because if you're having sex with the person unprotected, you wanted to be a father. So why are you shocked?
Stop it
Is it
right
not
now.
fair to say though?
It is fair to say
Oh
because
no.
you're doing with me unprotected,
People
there's
just want to have sex. A lot of people
Exactly
don't
what
even
you're
think
talking
about the
about.
responsibility.
A lot. That's the thing.
They just want to have a baby,
I'm not fit me.
not even
Talking
have a
about.
baby, have sex.
so when
They
the
just want
baby
to feel
comes
good.
so when the baby come now, they're like, what's that?
What?
Where'd that come from? Like that
Yeah,
came from
but
your balls.
and that is the burden of a
What else is
woman.
a permanent, right?
And that's true. And then now she has to
Why
live
add
with
to
that.
that? Why add to that?
No, that's
How
true.
much time is it?
That's true. And at birth too soon. At birth, like at birth itself is too quick.
My roommate's transfer is like.
It's
You
too
know, I
quick.
mean, Shanette is also talking
Yeah.
to.
Sorry. No.
We hear your
Something is.
background mute your mic.
Okay. Not
Yeah,
not
for
talking to you
us.
guys. No.
Okay, wait, Sam.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
So what I'm like literally what I'm saying is that, point blank period, is always about the mother trying to, meet somebody halfway. I let somebody meet her halfway with the child. No mother wants to be a single mother.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. No
Mm-hmm.
mother wants to be a single mother. She's always wanting, a stepfather if she already, lost her baby father. She wants a nice man, to meet her halfway. And every child deserves, a father and a mom. Stable family. I'm not saying that having a mother and a father in one household is stable either. But I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, it's the best move. A father
What
can do
about
what a
what?
mother can
Mm-hmm.
do, and a mother cannot do what a father should and can do.
Right. You want
Okay.
both parents in an ideal
Okay. Hear me
situation.
out, guys. If
Yeah.
you are aware that the situation that you're going to bring this child into is not necessarily the best, when you find out you are pregnant, why not just, you know, the A word?
The A word is illegal,
No.
but
The
you can go
abortion.
tip Pepsi and Rusty Nail. But
Oh
Pepsi
my
or
God,
Rustinian.
this is another topic, guys. Abortion is another topic.
but
I
I am,
see.
I,
It's a good point though because you believe a lot of women know who in a situation that they were trying to cover are not going to see that as a way out to
yeah,
protect
and then they're
themselves.
going to abuse it. So that's not a good way out either. They're going to abuse. They're going to continue what they're doing. They're going to go to the A until they can't do A anymore. So
Yeah,
they
and
and
you
then
just
see,
leave the house.
yeah,
but them
yeah,
not choose to not have sex, you know. You notice?
exactly, exactly. So I'm just saying that
I go back to my earlier point. Like, why are people behaving like contraceptives cost thousands and thousands of dollars?
It don't
Like,
feel
if
as
you
good
want,
as bareback.
no, that's what I'm saying. There's other ways. There's spermicide. There's pills. Like, if that's the life in the world, yes, there's risk to it or whatever. Cause
There are
them things gonna put
options.
no what's the word, protect against STDs and them things. But I mean, you know, sex must
It
be
just,
both.
it just works for the woman.
It's a risque.
It's worse for the woman.
yeah,
And the Chinese, the mother.
every angle is just directed. The arrows are just pointing towards the mother.
Yeah. And most of the
Because
men are not around. So
yeah,
what is this thing of protecting men? What is that?
and only
What
if
about child support? Do not
exactly.
push
It's
that.
not it's not protecting men, but if you really delve into it, that's kind of how it seems. But as he said, prevent domestic violence against women. Him not think about the legal implications. Oh, this woman is going to, if he's not the father, this woman going to have to raise this child by herself. Da 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 da. Him not mention none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him not mention none of that. It was just a statement he made. I read the article. There's no real detail. So um, maybe if it comes up again where he has like more, what's the word?
More
What's the word?
information.
Not information, but he was just like it's a broad topic. There was no fine tuning it. There was no okay, this is going to be that da 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 da. There was none of that.
Yeah, but it seems to me like the bad outweighs the good of the situation.
Yeah.
I don't see if you look at pros and cons. I don't
Okay.
see how for the mother and the child, and if it's about violence, it's laughable because increasing the risk of her being exposed to violence.
Exactly. As I said earlier, it's a context. It's a context. You cannot have a mother, showing up a mother like that for her infidelity at birth. That's going to trigger violence. That is going to fuel violence. And I think that's what he thought about. He didn't think it through. He
I
didn't
just
And
think it
that's
feel
the thing.
like
But to read, you must have given it some thought.
he
If you
didn't.
reach a parliament and they
And
say,
then
yeah, take it to
to
now.
me, it is kind of sexist as well. Like he's basically saying, because of females' infidelity, that's why men are killing them and beating them.
yup. I was getting to that.
So it's
But
basically him pointing finger at females like, okay, you guys are the enablers. You guys, call this down on yourselves. If you
Nothing
just,
here in the
you know,
house.
and I don't think he actually cared about domestic violence as a whole. I don't think
mm-hmm.
he wants anything to do with that to alleviate. He just thinking that, okay, because of you females, you cause your men to beat
Yeah,
you.
and you cannot say that. So you're gonna have to fix
and
yourself
sometimes
and flip it
yeah.
round.
And sometimes people just going through the situation themselves. And based on where they are in politics or wherever, they just say, boy, this is an avenue for me to push this because this is an issue that affects me. But
Didn't I say that in the beginning? Say it's so personal.
it's own personal.
It
So
is
it's
Because
so
very
but
close
looking
to
at the
his
personal.
bigger
heart, man.
picture,
But like
yeah.
knowing those type of men, they're always cheaters anyway. So excuse me,
Okay.
maybe you're the reason why my man gonna beat me because you're not stop calling me. No, because no, like for real though. I think him not really think it through.
Yeah.
Because if he thought about paternity fraud, like bringing that down, it would be a
Yes.
completely different
Different
case.
discussion. It
Because
And
totally
some
is.
nobody
are
would do
sell
a
it
test. Nobody
differently.
cares. No, nobody really cares.
Sell it differently. So boy ladies, we're looking out for you guys.
Yeah,
Paternity test will increase your chances of holding a man accountable for child support.
yeah, and get
Yeah.
more money. And I'm saying,
That
or
angle.
let the U.S. embassy do an advertisement. Say, okay, a lot of these, females, they come, the mothers, they're not the rightful, father, the fathers, not the rightful fathers, and they can't get through,
Yes,
that, and
sir.
then mothers now we try be, looking into themselves, I'm going
Yup.
to blight it. I'm going to blighten
If
my
they ever
chance.
tell them so them can't get visa.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the main way they find out.
and that's
Yeah.
sad.
So
A
say
lot
you
of
go
the time
foreign,
here.
you go uproot a whole cultural system in the country and put
Exactly.
women at risk.
And
Say you
then
go
now the
foreign.
child at school saying, "Oh, me I got migrate and my father
Oh,
finally
the
me,
way?
I got migrate, me not come to
Like,
school September."
mm-hmm. I
And
agree.
then September comes, wow, that's him. Because guess what? He's a jacket.
It's
You know
not.
what I'm saying?
But guess what? I'm advocating for the jacket then.
Yeah, advocating for
Yeah,
the jacket?
I think
Me advocate for the jacket, which is
I
the
think
child. The
if the
child.
man is
You're
a size
advocating for the
small,
child.
if he's a
Right.
size small, you give
A
it to
child
him.
who may be a jacket where I would have had a father. And because when I exposed my mother at birth, I grew up without a father.
How
And my
dare
life is
they?
just a totally different thing. You
But
understand?
still, I would hold my mother accountable now. Like, mommy, why? You
I'm
know what
sure
I'm
I'm
saying?
sure everything process tomorrow.
Was it worth it? But in
Yeah.
the end, a mother choosing the best father is always the best way. And that's all, that's what it's going to be forever. The mother is always going to choose what's best for her and her child, and mainly for her child.
No longer, no at birth should be robbed of that opportunity,
Exactly. And
especially if she's a promiscuous mother.
the amount of woman now will give birth and end up back hospital in an emergency ward because them face bust up. Ugh.
Before they even recover from the birth.
Poorly.
Because I was thinking it wouldn't have that impact, at birth, because the man are gonna, spend less money. You know, that was I was thinking. It will
All
be
right, let me
easier on
switch
the
it
man.
little. Starting with you, Shakina. Shanette,
Mhm.
looking at paternity right now and
Mhm.
say, okay, then if this is to happen as a law or whatever, in your own views, what do you think we should, what approach you think should be taken before we close?
What approach? Um, I think if it's going to be a law, then tied to the whole what you're saying about what's best for the child, so forth and so on. In the cases where the man turns out to not be the father, I'm not sure. But in the cases where the man turns out to be the father, especially if it's a case where they're not like in a relationship or it's not a husband and wife type of situation, then they should be bound legally to that child, and there should be penalties put in place they if they don't adhere to those um, laws or rules rather. So that's my view on that particular part of it.
All right, I hear you. Sasha Gay?
Yeah. I just believe that it should not be necessarily mandatory, as we discussed earlier, but it is important for it to be done. So it will be encouraged, right? Uh, and also I had a point. Another point. Yeah, and then if the child is not his, and then disclose that into a meeting or whatever, the man has a chance right then and there to state if he wants to be the child's father, regardless of him not being the biological father. He has an opportunity, and he also has the opportunity to walk away. Okay. He has two
Okay.
choices: to stay assigned, even though he knows he's not the father, or he walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. And then the mother has to fend for herself right there for her, poor choices. But that's
If
just me.
Or
she's
go find the
alive,
biological
if she's
father.
alive,
I know. So morbid.
no, I can't to be on it because even for child support, even for the reason of child support, I
Mm-hmm.
don't ever see it working. Men walk away from their biological children. Them
Yeah.
cool like that, you know.
Yeah.
Harvey Hunt in the chat is saying the woman them cool and gal wicked.
Oh
Understand
God,
me? But who
Orville,
wicked
who
like
hurt
man?
you?
Who wicked like
Who
man?
hurt you,
And we are
Orville?
carry the proof, you know. And that's the problem. The proof.
Ah!
You understand?
Let me
Because
not
who
say,
do it? Who
Orville,
put the
listen,
baby
listen,
there?
Orville. We're not saying you're completely wrong, because you do have some conniving women out there. You do. Nobody is, no gender is perfect. Two away across is, let's be honest.
Right.
So, but we're just saying, Orville, Jesus.
No, uno cool in there. Oh my god.
Orville
No,
said, no,
sir.
woman out with you.
We look for expose woman them.
No,
And then the thing, men, you see, when females like cheat, they're like, oh yeah, as Arbil said, wicked, wicked. But when men cheat, they them are galleys, yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
excuse me.
Oh,
And
it's
that
a
in
good
itself,
thing.
is a whole other topic that we can have, because man can't take money now. Men don't know why
Them
them left
can't
the bun
take
and them
bun.
cannot
We'll
take
have to
care of
talk
it.
about that.
And
Yeah,
We'll
one
have to
pride,
talk about that next.
with them
mm-hmm.
little fragile self.
And that's them egotistical. I'm telling you. So before next topic though, Anna, you need to talk about this. You need to talk about this for real.
No,
A
definitely.
man
We have to talk about the
cannot
bun.
have
We have to talk about
girlfriend.
the violence against
Yeah.
women. What, in
Mm-hmm.
your opinion, what's the main reason a man beat a woman?
Ego,
Because him is a demon. What you mean?
ego.
No, it not know if it have nothing to do with ego. If you ever look at me as my man and think that you can put your hands on me, something wrong with you in your
You're
brain.
insecure bad.
That's why you
Well,
have to beat them first, but that's a domestic violence as well. Oh my god.
But they're saying most women
did
get
you say beat
licked
them first?
because of a cheat.
My girl
Let
said
them
that's
say
why you
no.
should beat them first.
Eh?
No, I was laughing because she said that's why you should beat them first. That is
And then
domestic
that is
violence
it.
as
Nobody
well,
now
ma'am.
stick up for you now. You go police station. Man can report domestic violence. That's the
No,
next
because them
comment.
laugh
That's
at
the
the
next
man
topic.
then. They don't.
Yeah,
They
we
laugh
can
at men
address
who
that.
report them to you.
They have a
Well,
whole lick.
Arvil said it should happen. We need to know if we are the father. We don't want to do so much for a child that's not
For a
ours.
child.
That's true, but that's a you. That's a one way,
No, but
because
Orville, I
It's called
mean, it's
charity.
charity.
I know. Jesus
No,
Christ.
no charity, no
Organized.
charity. Men have to work hard. Some men really have to work hard, and they're putting the money aside for a child that's not theirs. That's
You know, like,
that's wicked.
I hear what Orville is saying, but look at it this way. Is it that because people know say everybody just going around having sex with people without being in committed relationships or whatever the case may be? Because if you're in a marriage, yeah, your woman married for I don't know how long, you're in long, da 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 da. Would you want would you be in the frame of mind to request a paternity test at birth? Or is this just for like casual relationships or those relationships that really aren't relationships? Because why Orville being in a relationship with a woman, why you don't want a paternity test at birth? Because then you have to go
Because
think
you
about
don't
the fact
trust
that, oh,
her.
No,
yeah,
for mess
so
up things.
where you there with
You're
her for?
right.
If you don't trust her, where you do that? Go find
But
somebody who you
Shannon, good
trust to
point
have a
now.
baby with them.
The man here just want paternity test for the side chick to prove, say, look here, that child is
No,
not
no,
mine. So I
no,
don't want mine
no,
it.
no. For the
No!
side chick, them accept it, but for the wife, they want paternity.
They want
No,
paternity test.
the
No,
married man
no,
don't want paternity
Pastoral.
test. Yeah, but in a
No,
stable home,
seriously.
a
no.
situation where either partner made have slip up, you're gonna mess up a happy home.
That's not true. But
When the
Anna,
thing
but for
create a
real,
broken home.
married men don't necessarily care about paternity. They don't care. They just want you to get rid of that. Or do it yourself. They don't care if they're the father or not. Like they can talk out. Like the first thing they're going to say is, I'm married, right? Like you never know you're married.
I guess the female condom in your wrong and then married.
Yeah, like you never know you're married. Like we are telling me that for, and then they don't care.
Hmm.
So them are the last person that go want, a paternity test. The more you go to the Planned
Really?
Parenthood,
They want no
Planned
because you not plant a baby on them.
But them don't want it planted or even thrown. Them just don't want seed. So you have to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And them want to protect their marriage. That's why I'm saying married men, you don't mess with married men unprotected.
If you mess with a married man, that's a 7 years of bad luck, you know?
7 years of bad luck.
Yeah, man, 7 years of bad luck.
Who to the
And then
die?
them settle, even when you're married, you have the 7 years each. So
Jesus.
if double whammy there. So if you're married and the man married and what 14 years of madness that
Me Jesus.
Good
And who would
Jesus.
want that on this?
messed up.
Arvin said the
Sad
child
though.
born now would want to know.
As
But
a child
You
born
say?
who want to know. Arvin, let me
Because
put him up.
Arville, no, Arville, who are you in a relationship with? Is it just a
Yeah,
random girl you met on the roadside? What you mean?
the side chick. Arvin
It's
is
a
a
side chick,
child.
Arville.
Talk
Arville,
to
a
us. Is
defending
a
side
side
chick
chick you're
man.
talking about?
Arville, make we know what going on, you know. This is a safe
Because
space.
wifey pregnant. And you not sure? Talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Then alright.
no, make
You see?
I feel like your head must go further than this. Please.
You know.
No, no, no. No, we
So
can't stop
cool.
this.
It's so cool. Yeah, man.
and then the thing is these, the mothers.
I will go and put the link in the chat. Want to see on the screen. Join us. Share your views.
Yes, man, Arville. Step into the room.
But before the mothers, became mothers, then they keep sleeping with men that they're not in a relationship with. So that man
Mm-hmm.
don't owe them no kind of loyalty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it is casual. And when you're in a casual relationship like that, the man don't care. The man gonna say, yo, so we're gonna do with it. Like we're gonna do about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so where I gonna about it?
Yeah, we're gonna do about it. While
What do you mean when
husband,
me I gonna
with
about it?
your husband,
Well,
even if
we. What are
yeah,
we going to do about it?
and if you have a I know if a long term boyfriend or your husband, you come to him, even though you know say it's not his no, him not gonna feel mind say you alone. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be happy and whatever. But a casual relationship now, him gonna pre you like say, okay, the same thing you do with me, you probably do with other man.
Yeah, like why you so sure say I'm my own?
Yeah, and then now you have to just start ball because what else? Understand? You know,
Boy, I don't know if we did justice to the children, you
no,
know.
I'm just so sorry for the children at all times, but the children always have to just face the fire that the parents light. Full stop.
And what about the marriage? You're married and marriage broke up. Pure
Yeah,
broken homes all over the place.
that because it causes a lot of social dysfunction for true. But then, if you're married, why are you doing all that unprotected? So you have to face the consequences. You
Yes, come on.
have to face
The
the
woman alone a face
consequences.
consequence.
Well,
Woman alone.
the man automatically. You know, so it's true though. It's the man I got divorced.
What do you mean? Are you
The woman,
calling the child a
okay,
consequence?
one no,
Are you
no.
calling the child crosses? Hmm?
When the when the man, had that child outside the marriage, him want the wife be stepmother to the child. Excuse me, excuse.
Hmm.
See, as I'm saying that they want their wife to be understanding to the side
All
that they're
right.
pregnant.
We're gonna wrap up soon. So one last question: if the man kill the woman, is the
Mm-hmm.
state gonna take care of the child? Then kill the woman and then done with him gone because it's not his
In Ghana
child.
jail.
What
Yes.
happens to the
Yeah,
children?
by default,
Ward.
they'll be a part of the state.
Award of the state, yes.
A
By
ward of the
default,
state.
I, and
yeah.
then also them
So the
children
government
only
wants
gonna
to
be the
spend more money.
no, that's if they don't have any immediate family they want to check them because what if no family member no wants that responsibility there?
But most
Right.
times they're abused. I know, and I said about the children. The children are going to face it real hard because the love that your mother will give to you, maybe your auntie, your uncle not going to give that.
Right. You ever hear the term? Nobody can take care of a child better than you. No matter you leave them over people yard, you are the parent.
That
Yeah.
is
So
true.
you kill a child's mother. What next? What if the woman so depressed that she kill all the baby?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
She's so
when him
stressed out.
To me,
Yeah,
postpartum.
just let sleeping dogs lie. Let the fathers be happy
for
wearing their
this
jackets,
one.
and just let the mothers happy sewing the jackets. Just
No,
just let sleeping
really.
dogs lie.
The
Just let sleeping
conclusion
dogs
that
lie.
kill is bad, 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 bad.
What?
I think what is it?
No,
What you say,
let's sleep.
Shanae?
No, me I said the conclusion that kill is bad.
Oh gosh, no, we need to put like a clothes pouch. No, put on a jacket better.
So I'm
We need to
just
clean up this. Yeah, can't end so.
Well, as I
I think
said,
they should push um child support as a
mhm,
policy first. Push that.
mhm,
And behind the scenes, as part of that process, you have to do paternity tests.
mhm.
Fine. Push that and see how that fly, before you deal with this other side of things. Focus on the men, given that the statistics show that there are more single mothers, right? And
Yeah,
absentee fathers. So
yeah.
if that is the reality, fix that first. Than people in stable situations being disrupted and all of that. But we'll touch on cheating another time. But let me hear from you ladies. You know,
Um, why? My view still is
our Harville is joining us.
alive. Orville,
Yeah,
welcome to the room. Welcome to the room,
welcome
Orville.
Harville.
We're here, we have to say Orville.
Yeah, all good.
Talk about things
Hello.
them. What you saying?
No, as I say, woman, cold still, you see me? Yeah, I mean, but the Prime Minister come with a good thing still, you know? The whoever bring
Another
this
Prime
forward,
Minister.
like,
Yeah, our MP.
For MP. We don't know his name.
yeah, so it's a case where it should go through, man, because more as me get a youth, trust or no trust, More know it for mine, you see me? Yeah, cause
Okay.
So what if you find out that that is not yours? What
I
are you
want to
going to
get
do?
reimbursement for all the fees and money for the 9 months.
Reimbursement? You can't get reimbursement.
No, that should be a
Of course.
part of the bill or whatever you'd call it. I want to get
All of the
reimbursed.
clinic fee that where Orville pay, want them back. What you mean?
Yeah,
And
all of the
Oh
clinic fee,
Lord.
I'm more at least half of the money we pay for food, like, you know. I mean, I forget about the whole lot,
food?
but you know, yeah. At
Oh
least
gosh.
half. You give me
So
a
want
fee,
to
yeah.
her heartache what she put up with.
I
All
know
the
my
bun we
pity. If
give
I
her
She
what
if
go
she
put up
if
with
take.
it.
it's not my child,
Orville
that's
believes
her
that she
and the
should go put up
father's
with it with
fault.
the next man, with the real father, not him.
Yeah, that's the her and the child's father's heartache, you know?
Okay.
But you
Orville
don't know
no
who the
no
father is.
part. So yeah, talk about.
Yeah.
What did Orville say?
No, Arby,
Okay,
but you
Orville, we
cannot
hear
look for
you.
reimbursement though.
Say that again?
You can't look for reimbursement.
Why
Why
not?
not?
Because you just stress her out and she just had the baby. And she don't have
What
money
kind
for
of
that.
Orville problem that? What did you not get in?
But she not get it that
I hear the sarcasm
isn't me I say,
stinging, Jeanette.
so all of
I
them
hear it.
gas money they will carry her go to the clinic or the
Man
bus
said
fare,
gas
anything
money, all
more
gas
all
the
of
more
that.
what you gonna care Orville.
Can I go where?
Clinic or to the
Clinic.
doctor's office to check on the child that's not mine.
Mm.
I want that back. You know,
So you
so
not have the
like
love in your heart. Unless I
Orville
yours.
can't want it
no,
back.
me not no love for nobody with cool. So you could have you cool, you're wicked man. You could have no, me not no love for you, my friend.
Suppose it was just a mistake. A little one
Mistake
Orville
don't
night
make
not
sense.
understand
stand.
ya.
She no, you're
Wicked.
mad.
Wicked girl
Mistake
that.
don't make sense, man. They mistake
Come
they
on,
can't hardly.
Orville.
I would just
No,
say
Really? A little
no,
one
to be
night
honestly,
honest,
stand. She make a
if me
mistake.
and you, no, hold on. If me and you in a relationship, right?
Orville said a mistake that she
No,
calculated.
but if me in a relationship and you say I cheat, at least have the heart for use protection. Come on, man. You have to do
Okay.
all type of things to her. Come on. You have the heart to
Mm-hmm.
come use, don't use the protection and go have a child. We are no mind. Come
Because
So
on.
you
you're
not
And
lick
you
her?
want me to
You
have
Orville.
a
not lick
heart for
her,
you. You
Orville?
don't have a heart for me
You
to
not beat her?
carry all type of things for me. Eh?
You not beat her?
Oh, no,
No man,
no. I won't.
Orville
I
a good
won't.
man.
I
Orville
won't.
not beat
Wait,
nobody girl.
tell how you handle situations.
No, through the court system. So that's what I want the
Mm.
MP to bring it forward and said we forget reimbursed for all of the 9 months.
I do like how much them do it in
So it's like if you put in like a fee system where the amount of love and care I put it like me touch the belly, I'm gonna listen to it and like me feel all the kick them when you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then like love and tender cuddles and anything like so if you put in like a good amount of that, in put like
Mm-hmm.
you know, so she forgive me at least 100,000 for that.
what?
Just for
Minimum.
court fees, you know what I say? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Orville
yeah.
say.
So you're not burdened none at all.
But Arby is on the good ones who won't abuse the mother.
Abuse the woman.
But there are others who will literally stomp her in the head side.
Mm-mm. Gosh,
No,
it's
I would
sad.
literally, if I was a man, I would literally stomp her in her head side. Especially
Mm-mm.
if I borrowed the money and then the pitney come out and the pitney say, Gaga, and
I
next
should go.
and then
Should
it's
go
not my
private
time.
hospital.
No, stomp right on the bed. She ordered the right place. She gotta get treatment, and then I'm just gone.
Sasha, that sound like you tolerate a level of abuse. So you
No,
say, don't beat her to kill her.
no,
But
don't be
you're
trying
doing
to
it.
kill her. No, but then when other mama does see the trend, then I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this trend.
So
This
she need to make front page news.
yeah, and mother
But
be like,
don't
oh
like
my
that.
god, look
No.
what Jimmy
We're
did to
endorse
Timmy.
abuse. There's no valid reason to hit anybody.
And that is to show you that this is not a good approach to stop domestic violence.
Yeah, it can't be. How do you stop the violence? Even if I want to see it through his eyes, give where's the sentence? How does that stop abuse? Let me see it. It increase it, no?
No,
I
to be
mean,
honest, I'm telling you.
Mm.
You see, if like you carrying it to the court system, Jamaicans afraid of court and anything. So if it's like a case where they carry to the court system, the man know the man now go really put him on panel anyway. The time I say, all right, we do it to the court and we can get a food off it. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
no, the man go really say him go want to jeopardize it by abusing the person and anything. Because Jamaican people afraid of courthouse and anything. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why me would have like if him have like a suggestion section of this whole thing, like I want to get reimbursement, you know what I mean? For the love and for all of the thing that
You
I'm
cannot
put
get
in and thing.
reimbursement for love.
No, yes, no, of course.
You
Cause
get
if it, that
calculate a portion.
after all of that, that's going to cause me depression. I can get depressed. I can even look forward to killing myself. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
case where the money would have kind of take me out of that. You know?
Take you to the feeling there.
Yeah, we can buy something nice, enjoy myself, get a little go a little resort with all my new
Take your
boo
mind
and
off, right?
The
yeah,
new girl already? A
of
new
New
girl?
course, come
girl,
on.
hot.
That's a part of it. Come
Oh
on.
boy.
Yeah, come
But
on.
I like Arby's feedback though. It was good getting feedback from a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some other men that were supposed to come on, them shy out and run with the thing. But it's a topic that we will talk about in future,
Yeah.
and let's see if it comes up more in terms of the policy standpoint. We'll definitely be following up on that. So we'll bring it back to the table again. And thanks, Orville, for joining us. We
No
Thanks,
appreciate that.
problem.
Orville.
Sasha, big up
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, yeah, go like
Yeah.
me and Sasha come from about 8 years old. Sasha send the link and say
Wow.
if you come log on. Yeah, so
Ah,
nobody make
Aw.
Sasha come go and
awesome.
say,
Yeah,
you feel
man.
me?
At
Yeah,
least you
man.
pull through.
Yeah, I know
Make
Yes.
sure
that.
them
I
So
know
fall
that.
through.
I don't
yes, so
know.
Arville
Sasha have a
is
G, man.
my best friend who's a guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I sent him the link, so I'm very grateful for him to actually join. I didn't know he was going to come on. I didn't know
I
that.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So
always spread the word about Say What Now TV. We're
No
doing this
problem.
every
No
week,
problem.
live
Yeah.
every week, social issues,
Yeah, man. I'll
you know?
subscribe and so I
Subscribe
can get the
and follow. Yeah, man.
notifications and
Like,
things, you know what I
share,
mean?
comment.
Yeah, no,
So
no doubt,
thanks
no doubt.
much.
Yeah, man. All right,
All
yeah.
right, Orville.
All right, have a
thanks,
good night. Yeah,
Arville.
man.
Yeah, man.
You
You
too.
too.
Mhm.
Okay, ladies. So I think we're at the junction now where we can wrap up. I think
Yeah,
it was a good discussion.
it
I
was.
like the viewpoints you had, Shanette and Sasha. You're leaning more towards paternity tests at birth,
Mhm.
right? For the sake of the man. And Shanette was a bit on both sides. And I'm against
Yeah.
it. I'm the objective
Yeah,
one
against
in the
it.
room.
Okay.
Right. So, right now, I'm just going to allow you to just give your concluding statements on the topic. What you think the way forward should be for women in the country, women in Jamaica, and then we close. So, Shanette, over to you.
All right. As it relates to paternity, I really feel like there's um, a lot more issues that contribute to violence against women or domestic violence against women that can be focused on because I'm not seeing how this would alleviate that. So if you come back with a more detailed statements and facts and everything, then I will listen. But as of right now, it kind of just up in the air because I don't know what he's getting at.
I hear you. Sasha
Hmm.
Gay?
Yeah, so as I'm saying, as I was saying earlier, I don't think it's a good approach to alleviate the domestic violence, but it's a good approach though to, listening paternity fraud. And I think that females need to practice personal responsibility. Try taking things, in your own hands, being more responsible. So that's what I think, because since the females are the ones who are getting the backlash the most, I think that they should look into themselves.
All right. Thank you very much, Sasha. And thank you to all our viewers in the chat. You know, Shakina, Harville, Dwayne Green, Eddie Guna, Sports Fan TV, and the others. Well, thanks for your feedback. Right now, we're doing this live thing every week. So tune in next week. Today's live was a little shaky. Let me apologize at the beginning. Things was a little messy. But that's life. And we just keep it moving. We are against violence against women. And whatever measure we can put in place to ensure that we don't increase violence against women is what we endorse, whether we're for or against any policy decision. Safety first, right? So thanks again for tuning in. and check out our next live. Be sure to subscribe, share. We have videos on the channel that you can tune into. There are several social issues. Tune in and put your comments in the comments box. And then, of course, join us every week with the live. All right. So thanks again and see you next week. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Sinead, Sasha again. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Anna, for providing this
Okay.
platform. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Take care, ladies.
You too.
Bye.
Do you have a burning issue that would shock or entertain our viewers? Share your scoop at saywhatnowtv10@gmail.com.